going on, guys? This is Bast, and welcome back to some more Smite Conquest. Today we're playing a little Bastet in the jungle as we move forward with the A to Z series. Bastet is one of the weaker assassins in Smite. In fact, I would honestly say, before the recent Loki nerf that made him absolute garbage, I would say she's the weakest assassin in Smite. But that doesn't mean that she's genuinely bad. She just has some major flaws, and we're going to talk about those real quick before we really get into the video. So Bastet's flaws, or her main flaw, is her late game is pretty much hot trash. As an assassin, she is one of the only assassins to have almost no CC. It's really like she has so little you could almost ignore it. And really, as she gets late game, it gets even weaker. Early in the game, Bastet's actually, her cats actually stand out for their CC a bit. That changes very quickly, because for one thing, they become very easy to kill. And for another thing, they're just not as valuable at a stage of the game where you're more likely to have your actives up. Late game, you're almost always going to have actives for fights, and Bastet's cats are nutty against people that don't have actives ready, or at least not two actives ready in order to fight them, right? You can Aegis them, but you still get slowed. You can beads them, but you still take damage. And once you get late game and you just start beads Aegising things, her cats just kind of blow. As well as, of course, you know, they're weak as hell late game, and you can just kind of one-shot them with a lot of different abilities. But besides that, Bastet is actually pretty nutty. When she's not, what? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what that was, man. I don't know what Loki was doing. But besides that, her cats are actually pretty good early game, and her mid game as a character in general is incredible. So what we're gonna do here in the early game is we'll probably play pretty passive in the very, very early stages while we get our ultimate online. Bastet does not have a good super early game. One thing to know, I've actually noticed this recently, kind of just how insane it is that with characters like Bastet who have, for one thing, long cast times on abilities, her abilities take a while to cast for the most part, both her 2 and her jump, which for jumps that's normal, but her 2 actually has a pretty long cast time as well. For characters like that, and especially characters without CC, their auto cancels blow, and that's actually a really big reason why Bastet in the very early stages is not so good, is because she doesn't really auto attack. She does if she's completely out of things to do, but it's really awkward to auto attack with her. You don't have CC to confirm them, you don't have quick abilities to make it easy to auto cancel, and so she's just pretty bad at fighting 1v1. Even though we have decent damage, our abilities are fine. Like our 2 does 120 damage at rank 1, pretty good. It is overtime, which is a little annoying, but 120 damage is a lot. But she has a bad early game because she doesn't do anything else with it. She doesn't auto cancel it, she doesn't have CC on it, and so it's actually really awkward to fight early game with her for the most part. If you're doing just pure damage trades, it can go okay, but then you have to burn a lot of mana, and that kind of sucks. And if you're actually finishing off like someone low or something like that, then that's fine as well. But you don't generally get too many opportunities for that, and then obviously, you know, almost any assassin, if they're low, it's just going to be a kill, right? So her early game's pretty awkward for that reason, but once we get our ultimate online, that's going to change quite a bit, because then we have a way to do a lot of damage over time, and not just be limited to our ability damage, because right now, for example, we have, 350 damage before protections that we're doing with our abilities, which is something, but because we don't have those auto cancels that other characters have, because we don't have CC to confirm any other person's damage, that's all we do, right? Which is kind of uncomfortable. It's kind of awkward that we can do half of someone's health or so, and then that's pretty much it. So we really need ultimate to be able to do a whole lot. Because like right now, for example, 735 health, if we do 350 damage, which it shouldn't even do quite that much because protections. But if we do 350 damage, yeah, we did half our own HP and that's it. Like we're just done, right? What are we going to do? Hold left click for the next half? No. So we kind of need ultimate, but we're just about to get it. I'm actually going to do these guys purple in just a second. By the way, they do have a Loki jungle, so we're going to play a little more aggressive, possibly, than we normally would. I'm going to just have to gank this, man. They're gonna disengage before we get a chance to actually do anything else, before we get ultimate. I missed the slow, that sucks. Was really hoping we could stick to Apollo if I landed that. Goomba, please? There we go, finally, man. Finally, here, just get stuck in the cats. By the way, hot tip, you don't get to do it too often, because it's pretty positioning related. You can actually put cats around Apollo. Around gods in general. Not just Apollo, it's not just an Apollo counter. But it's actually really good for Bastet. It's mostly an early game thing. It's pretty hard to pull it off later in the game. But yeah, pretty nuts. At this stage of the game, there's like no way to kill cats unless you're like a mage with an ultimate up, like Ra ult, Kukulkan ult, stuff like that. It takes forever to kill them otherwise, because you just do so little damage. They have 500 health. Look at our health. That's a lot, right? Each cat has that much. That's nuts. So really, really big deal to try and kill cats at this stage of the game. And so you can just kind of put them around someone and body block them in. And like you saw with Apollo right there, they get pretty screwed. There's not a whole lot to do about it. Later in the game, though, you know, as damage goes up and whatnot, because cats don't scale very hard when it comes to their health, then it gets kind of hard to actually pull that off because it's not as meaningful. And then also people get cooldowns, so they're more likely to have their dash up or some sort of CC up or whatever to get out of them. So not quite as easy. We're just waiting for blue buff right now. Yeah, pretty much with Bastet, we want to be doing, I guess it's fairly typical assassin things, but we want to be trying to gank almost every time we get our ultimate. And ideally with our ultimate, we especially want to focus people with low mobility. So Ra would be a good example of that. We really want to punish those guys that don't have a good way to get out of it. We're actually going to go on him right now because he should be pretty dead. Dead. That was a nice Morrigan ult, man. That did a lot of work. Yeah, and we've got ultimate still. Ultimate just coming up here, so we can try and do something to somebody. I don't know if it's going to really do anything, because like the only person we can gank right now is Apollo, and Apollo's got pretty good counters to Cat, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try and hold my 3 to make this a little easier for us. See, he might mez them, he might... Oh, wait, I guess he just... What am I saying? He literally just mezzed. Yeah, no, he can use... Oh, that's a horse ult. He can use mez to mez the cats, which can be really awkward, and then obviously he has a dash, and dash will get out of cats. So a lot of the time if we're engaging on him, we want to make sure that we position away from that CC that he has. And then we also want to make sure that we normally don't want to completely dump cats into all those CCs. Like if he has dash and he has mez and we just dump cats on him, he might just get out of cats. Like they might never catch up by the time he mezzes and dashes. So we got to think about that a little bit too. So we're off to a pretty good start to the game right now. Part of it is Loki early game not too hot, so he's not getting a lot of pressure. He did just get his first kill though. So we have a lot of free reign right now, and if I do see Loki, I definitely don't need to be afraid of Loki. Loki is hot garbage in the early game. He pretty much always has been, and then with the recent nerfs, it's just even worse. So we can play really aggressive around him. Like if we see a 3v3, let's say we're against like a duo lane, and then me and Loki are also there, yeah, we take that trade every time, man. We take it every single time, because Loki is just so much worse than we are right now. Right is getting ganked super hard. I've got a whole lot of nothing to help, so we're just not even going to rotate. You know, if I had ult, I would rotate, but because I don't, we're not, and that's actually a really good example of how things change. I have so little impact on fights unless I have ultimate there, because we're going to have almost no CC, and that just means it's a bad fight for us. So we'll just kind of give up Hui. It's not worth rotating in, because if anything, we're just going to die. Like we're not going to clean that up. Not that fight. With another assassin, we might. Not with the position we're in though. Alright, Hui's already back up, so I guess we'll leave duo farm for him. So as far as our build is concerned, we're actually going to be rushing into a Crusher, which might surprise some of you guys. I know cooldown is a very common purchase for Bastet, but cooldown gets a little overrated on her, because a lot of what you're doing as Bastet is actually just bursting really hard. This probably isn't a good fight, because we don't know where Loki is, and Morrigan rotated underneath. But cooldown gets a little bit overrated on her. You actually want to be focused a lot on your burst damage, so we're going to be building into a Crusher, because that just nuts burst damage, right? Give me those, thank you. We're actually going to try and do something to Kumba. Okay, we got wrecked. See, I've got a beads for Loki. If he ults me, he didn't. Can I reach? I can. That might just be his passive, though. Yeah, it is just his passive. Can we? Okay, killed himself. Oh, we might have gotten out off that, man. I held it so long. That was nuts. Yeah, little Bastet tip and trick right there. Look at that. Look at that. I actually maybe could have gotten aggressive with him there. Eh, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if it would have been worth or not. And Apollo's got an ultimate, which he is using. We're going to bait this. We're going to bait this super hard. No, not feeling it. And he knows. What a guy, man. That was good. That was good. I actually backed out. I feel like it's not too often we see that. Yeah, no, that was an interesting fight. That was a weird one right there. When we went on Kumba, I figured Loki would come for us, and so I was really just trying to bait him there, because he was so low. I'm actually surprised he didn't get completely one-shot by our jump there. He was so low that I thought we'd just be able to kill him super easy. We did. But yeah, no, Ra gonna make things tricky, man. Look at this. Lotus Crown Rush on Ra. Not a bad idea. I think it's actually pretty smart, because Bastet's really good against Ra, I would say. Our ult, ironically, isn't very good. It's pretty easy for Ra to deal with the cats, because he can, like, even though he doesn't have mobility, his slow is really good for deterring them. We're actually going to just ult dump on Arthur. This might be a kill. Yeah, Osiris is having some trouble with him, but cats are going to be pretty nutty into him. So hopefully we get, like, anything else from Osiris right now. Okay, we're just getting kind of trolled. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how that's not a kill, dude. Is he actually just that fed? I don't get it, man. That's bad. It's really unfortunate that he ulted out of the Osiris 3, but I think it's ridiculous that we lost that. That's actually really dumb. I understand that Osiris is behind in lane, but like that's just, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think we should have lost that at all. I think that should have been just a free kill right there. I did so much damage to Arthur, but Osiris did like nothing. Well, what can you do? What can you do? It is Arthur. It is Arthur mashing buttons and then acting like it's a hard thing to do. Alright, we're gonna gank right real quick. I think Apollo ultimate is back up. We can try and force it. Hui's not in a great position to fight, so this might actually just turn into a kill on Hui. I'm not sure. I'm coming, man. Let me press 2 on him. What's up, dude? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the plan was with that Aegis. I see that a lot, man. I know I bring it up every so often when we see it. I feel like it's so common to see people waste their actives in Smite. To some degree, it's natural. But it's something that I feel like even some pro players do it a lot, which is really funny to me. And I feel like I mostly don't. And normally if I do, I'll like notice it like immediately. But a lot of people waste their actives when they're dead as hell. And he did it right there. It's like, how are you not dead anyways, right? Like I haven't jumped yet. You're sitting in minions. You're not going to get ult off. Like the Aegis is a very small amount of the damage from R2 because R2 lasts 4 seconds and Aegis lasts 2 seconds. So I think it's really funny that he Aegis that, and I see that so often. People will beads when they're about to die, people will Aegis when they're about to die, and no one's coming, to save him. We're going to defend left, we're not going to fight left, I don't think, because if we've learned anything, it's that we couldn't even win a 1v2, we're definitely not going to win a 1v1. But we'll at least defend the lane, make sure the tower doesn't get pushed, make sure somebody soaks up that farm while Osiris is dead. He probably is going to get to this in time, so we'll go ahead and leave the next wave for him. Yeah, game is starting to turn around a little bit. We got off to a really good start, and things are slowing down a bit right now. A lot of people are kind of dying across the map. I think we just need to try and ignore Arthur, but it's going to be scary, man. What the? Loki? I should have beads that way earlier, man. Alright, well, he should be dead. Is he not? He's 1 HP, dude. There we go. We're going to try and clean up in the back here. This is a little greedy on my part because they might rotate out. But we can probably one-shot one of them with our jump in just half a second. Oh, I whiffed it. This was definitely greedy pathing, but as long as Loki... Oh, never mind. I was going to say as long as Loki doesn't have ult, we'll get out. We do not get out. That sucks, man. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Apollo finally backtracked the moment we jumped. That was really awkward. Yeah, so right now we're kind of working into a lot of our... What are they? Okay. I mean, I guess it works out because he just didn't focus anybody. I don't know why they're all just stacked under gold. Yeah, we're working into burst damage right now. And then from there, we'll start working into some more cooldown. Can we just group, boys? Stop dying one by one. Yeah, no, like we keep just like throwing kills at their face right now. I don't get it. Like they keep just kind of like we just keep running in and taking different engagements, and then yeah, no, I don't get it. No, they should not. This is not a fight for us at gold, man. I'm the only damage dealer around to go to gold. Like they just need to retreat. Just get out, dude. Stop dying to them. They're actually fragging us off cooldown right now because we keep taking fights like that. I don't get it. Alright, Apollo should be dead as hell. What's up, man? Wait for the Aegis to be over. Smack his face. There we go. Got a little cleanup on him. Yeah, this game's getting really clunky, man. Arthur is starting to rotate, and it is not a fun time for anyone. Team is salty as hell about Osiris right now. I mean, to be fair, Arthur should not have anywhere near that much of a lead in solo. That was ridiculous. Like, he's at a 3-level lead. Even, like, when we ganked him that one time, he had a 3-level lead, which is pretty ridiculous. But being salty at Arthur doesn't really help, does it? Or, not at Arthur, at Osiris. Doesn't do much, man. For the record, though, if you guys are playing Osiris, please don't build this. I see this a lot. I don't know about this. This is whatever. But, and honestly, Ninja Tabby's maybe not so bad. I would probably not recommend it. I'd probably recommend Warrior Tabby. The big thing is I see a lot of people go Berserkers, and I highly would recommend going, that's a Kumba ult, that's a Kumba dead. Oh, maybe I thought I had ult. Never mind. But I highly recommend going Glad Shield over Berserkers. Berserkers in the very early stages can be better. And that's just a can. It's not necessarily. But other than that, it's just worse. Late game, it is incredibly worse than Glad Shield. And honestly, anything other than very early game, it's a decent amount worse than Glad Shield. Osiris has super low cooldowns. And when you're not in a stage of the game where you're just sitting there auto-attacking wave and auto-attacking people in their wave, then Berserkers pretty much blows. And it's not a good item to have. And so Glad Shield's better. That's not me shitting on the Osiris. That's just like it's a good thing to know. Not something we get to see too often. I know I've brought it up before, but not something we see too often, so it's worth knowing.